what happens if we survive.
Predator, Killer of Killers is directed by Dan Trachtenberg and Joshua Wassung, with a screenplay by Michael Robert Rutare and a story by Dan Trachtenberg and Michael Robert Rutare. The film stars Lindsay, LaVanchy, Ozawa, Changchien, Rick Gonzalez, and Michael Biehn. According to IMDb's plot synopsis, 3 of the fiercest warriors in human history become prey to the ultimate killer of killers. I have been a fan of the Predator series ever since I was a teenager. This was a time in which, as I was getting into middle school, my parents allowed me to watch some 80s films of that period, whether it be The Terminator or Die Hard, and then, of course, Predator. One of my earliest rated R action movies, even if today there's much more bloodier things, but even still, the first film is not only one of my favorite Schwarzenegger movies out there. Anybody can pick their favorites from the man himself, but I mean, of course, this one will hold a special place in my heart, but is one of my favorite action films ever. I think it is a ton of fun. I think it is a blast. It knows what it is, but it also knows when to take things seriously, when to have fun with things, but also knew what it wanted to be. Predator 2 is fun, but I would say is lesser quality in terms of a sequel, if you ask me, compared to the first film. Predators is a film that I think in this franchise is a little bit underrated, and I feel like should be given a little bit more respect than it does. I'm not saying all of it. I just think that there are some aspects of that movie that I do appreciate for them trying. And The Predator is a disappointing and messy follow-up that hurts the franchise, and that was the last time there was a movie in this series to be released in theaters. That was 2018, people. That was 7 years ago. It's pretty sad if your last movie, which was panned by critics, did not do well box office-wise, would be your last. That's kind of rough to take it. Thankfully, Dan Trachtenberg revitalized the series with Prey, which helped change what the series should do, but brought back what fans really like about this concept. The idea of an alien hunting down a human being, but really a capable fighter. And it does suck that it was released on Hulu instead of being in the theaters, because that would have been really awesome. But thankfully, we will be getting another Predator movie in the form of Predator Badlands, which will be hitting theaters this fall, which I will cover. Though we have to wait for the next film, we got another film, but in the form of animation. I was looking forward to this, and I can say, after watching it, I had a really good time. Although there were some issues that could have been tweaked, if you ask me. But before discussing those problems, here are the positives that I do see with the movie. The voice acting is decent. All the voice work is done well, especially given the concept. Also, having Michael Biehn in this adds a ton of fun. Now I can confidently say that Michael Biehn has taken on Terminators, Xenomorphs, and Predators. He has now hit the big 3 major action sci-fi series out there at this point. He has now covered them all. But the voice work itself, I think, is done pretty well. I will say not everyone stands out as much. It does work to what the film is supposed to be. It's not supposed to be something that I think everyone will look at something like Predator Balance or The Predator and you know any actors from it. But I do think that the voice work from the voice cast does lend itself to what it is. The direction is stellar. Directors Dan Trachtenberg and Joshua Wassung still hits what the series is known for, but making it refreshing to watch. They really get what fans come to expect with this series, and Dan Trachtenberg seems to knock it out of the park, and with the help of Joshua Wassung, they deliver on something that I think Predator fans will be kind of satisfied and really wanting maybe more from it, but still overall succeeding in that regard. And I am always wishing Dan Trachtenberg the best with Predator Badlands, so good luck to him on that film. The animation is gorgeous. Seeing the beautiful scenery and color palettes made it all feel atmospheric and moody. Also, the gore looks bloody and brutal as well. It's just great knowing that the gore in this fits with how you would think the Predator would be. It's damn gruesome. It is brutal how much that they showcase the Predators just slicing and dicing through every single human being, and it looks amazing. And as well as, like I said, the look of the film in terms of the animation, the scope and scale of it all, it is fantastic. The action is fun. Watching these 3 killers showcase their skills and determination made it all the more exciting. It shows the violence and gore on full display. The action itself is pretty surprisingly well done. I didn't think that the action could ever be as thrilling or as engaging as it is, and I'm glad I was proven wrong with regards to how much this could kind of match like the level of what the first Predator movie was with regards to not just its action but just also its brutality. People involved in these movies, they truly want to show how much this series can get as violent as it can. Thankfully, they follow through on that. The music is good. Composer Benjamin Wolfish invokes the disturbing and bombastic nature of the series, bringing the vibes and tone that it should be. If you look at the original score by Alan Silvestri, that has a mood, that has a vibe, that has a feeling of eeriness. But also when the action does go down, or rather when the Predator does get involved, it is very intense, it is very scary. And Benjamin Wolfish, he delivers on that, still echoing the vibes of how this series should be. Pacing runtime is perfect. For an animated film, it's a perfect length to have it at. I don't expect it to be any longer if it was. For a runtime of 1 hour and 30 minutes, it doesn't need to be any longer than that. Maybe if it could have been shorter, maybe, but overall, I'm just glad that it's not close to 2 hours. Thank God that it doesn't need to be that long. It just knew when to showcase what it wanted to tell and then just when to go away. Thankfully, it was all entertaining, but again, I was just surprised on how much the pacing and runtime of it kept on going and never let up. The story is cool. Having it follow 3 individuals in different eras made it creative and awesome, making the concept fully realized. I think this is what a lot of fans of the Predator franchise have been wanting, which is showcase different warriors in different time periods. After the success of Prey, that is what fans have been wanting. I feel like maybe even before Prey, but still, just showcase different humans in different eras, how the Predator hunts different individuals in different eras. So in this case, we have Vikings, samurais, and then of course World War II, around those 3 periods in particular. And I think it was cool enough to showcase how in different eras how these fighters fought and how the Predators went about it. And it was just awesome, and I think it can go even further, but had an awesome time with it. For having bases, it does trip up in a few areas that I think could have been improved, or I think you asked me one in particular that could have been changed. Here are now the negatives that I did see with it. The ending, if you ask me, is a little generic. Sorry, I know, maybe that might be an unpopular opinion with fans, but once it gets to the finale, it does follow a formulaic science fiction telling that you kind of have seen and done before, that it doesn't feel like it does anything cool or interesting. It just kind of feels like, oh, well, I mean, it's fun, but you just are like, yeah, I mean, I've seen this before, and kind of making it not feel as, I wouldn't even say, because I have it here as saying not as exciting. I would just say this doesn't hit that final punch that really, like, I'm really pumped for this. I just went, okay, well, that was enjoyable, but I wish it had the final punch to at least make me feel like, oh my god, just like how the first movie was. By the end of that movie, I was, holy shit, I am excited. But this, could have been a little bit better. The characters, if you ask me, are a little lackluster, though it gives them a little bit of depth. I say little. They all feel like stereotypes with not much personality, making them a little bit forgettable, if you ask me, compared to some of the other characters in the Predator universe. Like, if you look at the first movie, sure, stereotypical soldiers, but they had personality, they had presence to them. Here, they fit what the movie is, but I just kind of feel like they feel more like archetypes than they do actual characters, if you know what I'm saying. It just kind of feels like, okay, Viking, alright, well, this character's gotta be angry, gotta be just full of rage. Samurai, peace, quiet, always strategizing what to do. World War II pilot, cocky, losing himself, just pretty much going with the flow or kind of going off of blind luck. Could have been more memorable if these characters had stood out much more than, say, some of the other characters that I would think are a little bit more memorable. Again, not every character in this franchise is super duper memorable, but even still. Nawu, Amber Midthunder, was a little bit more memorable than these characters are. This one might be a little bit like, that's not fair, but hear me out when I say this. The format should have been a show. For as much as this was cool, I do think that this would be better as a show or a miniseries where they could just let loose on the premise. I think it would be so much better and so cooler if they had done a show than a movie. As much as I respect it, and I do appreciate them actually doing what I think some people have been wanting. It's just that I feel like it does lack a little bit of the exploring that idea a bit further, giving them more ideas on what they can do. Because as much as it's cool that they were able to put this movie together and how it is, and by all means, I respect that, I just think it would be so much better if we could just go and explore more of the different eras, or even hell, different worlds. It doesn't have to be just Earth, different worlds. But I just feel like, as much as the movie is perfectly paced and the runtime works, it seems like this would have been better if this was a show, because I can feel it. I can feel like this is more of a show or a miniseries than an actual feature film. Another good outing for the series. Putting this in animation was better than if they had tried to do this in live action. If they tried to do this in live action, this would have not worked at all. I'm telling you, it really wouldn't. Though it has some problems, it's all in good fun. If you are a fan of the Predator franchise, we are getting more, and even though you gotta wait till fall for the actual next Predator movie, this I think will hold you down. And I think a lot of fans will appreciate knowing that Dan Trachtenberg and team, they have this covered. They got this. But for what the idea of what a lot of people have been wanting, I think for the most part, fans are going to get what they want. And if anybody joins in on the Predator franchise with this, I mean, it's not a bad start. I mean, I still prefer to watch the first one, but still, not a bad start to enter in. I'm going to give Predator Killer of Killers a 7 out of 10. It's an enjoyable, fun watch. I had a good time with it. And I hope that we can have more adult animated movies like this. And before anybody tells me that animation is for kids, let me tell you, folks, if people can watch South Park, Simpsons, even to a certain extent, Family Guy, American Dad, Robot Chicken, Rick and Morty, I mean, come on. Like, why can't it? It's okay if animation can explore mature things. There's nothing wrong with that. If kid movies can do it, why can't adult movies just do the same, but just more violent? I will be soon doing a review for Ballerina this weekend, so yes, look forward to that review and other reviews coming soon.